WWE is going through a phase of transition, and the biggest change seems to be the complete move away from what Triple H was doing with the company for over the last decade since becoming a force backstage. Now that Triple H has been forced to take a step away from the ring, it's felt like others have taken a step up in his place, and currently they are all working together to erase the legacy that he left behind. While some like Shawn Michaels are doing the best job to keep the company in shape, others in positions of more authority have ensured that everything that Triple H did for the company is gone. This is Wrestling Up, and here are 9 ways WWE is erasing Triple H's legacy. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Triple H has been away from his on-screen role ever since he suffered his cardiac event. While that was really concerning for fans, they would not have to wait for too long to learn that the game was fine and recovering. The moment he stepped away from NXT, though, things started to change in the black and gold brand. NXT 2.0 had already been announced, and it started to become clear just how different this new look would be for the WWE developmental brand. It was completely different from the sort of show that Triple H had built, where it was a lot more wrestling focused. Unfortunately, losing to AEW in the apparent ratings war on Wednesdays was something Vince McMahon's ego was unable to take. It's been reported by Meltzer that there are no plans right now, or even if Paul Levesque will return to running NXT, or for him to do any creative in the company due to health issues. Obviously, if his health improves, and if he wants to, that could change, but the word is that it's not anything people have been told is happening imminently. As a result, it appears that even if he can heal, he might be managing NXT when he's back. It's clear that by preventing him from returning, they have been trying to not allow him to take up the spot that he had held for so long. William Regal had become one with the brand of NXT as the general manager. He was also the one behind the scenes, joining the likes of Triple H, Matt Bloom, and Shawn Michaels. If there was something that Regal was fantastic at, it was taking control of the screen completely when he was present. The moment he was released, fans were outraged that Regal, someone who was so integral to NXT, was being fired unceremoniously when Triple H was not there to defend him. Wrestlers opened up on how important he had been into their development, all shouting out about how WWE had made a mistake. The company would later release a statement as it reads, "With the continued evolution of 2.0, we've decided to part ways with some of the staff based in our performance center. We thank them for their many contributions throughout the years and wish them the best." The belief was that WWE was removing anyone close to Triple H, but they were releasing anyone who shared Triple H's philosophy about the wrestlers that the company should hire, aka independent talent. Thus, Regal, who shared his view, was removed so that he could not be an obstacle to the ideas that Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard were bringing to the new NXT. It's no secret that Shawn Michaels and Triple H are best friends. However, when you take what was once one person's and give it to another, it's sure to create discord. It's not a coincidence that Michaels is the one who is working with NXT's crop of talent. Even though that was not his job initially, that has fast become his role when Triple H has taken time off. Not only that, reports from Meltzer have emerged stating that WWE are very happy with Shawn in this position, thanks to the way he has managed the likes of Braun Breaker and more. In this position, it would be safe to assume Triple H would come to not like Shawn as much, thus creating a rift. Thankfully, given their friendship, it's unlikely this will get in the way of their relationship. However, there's no hiding the fact that this is another move by WWE to help remove Triple H from feeling like he's the person in charge. There are few Triple H has always gone to bat for. He knows who he likes and why he likes them, pushing those stars to the moon. WWE has often undermined this effort from him and ruined his work by firing the same people he has poured his energy behind. The likes of Kevin Dunn, Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, and more don't agree with Triple H when it comes to these stars that he feels deserve to be pushed. When WWE started to release talent, it was clear there was a certain focus on NXT, and over the months, stars like Andrade, Aleister Black, and many more were let go. While Triple H could not always help these stars to keep their jobs, at times he went out of his way to ensure that some of the wrestlers were not fired. The most prominent example of this would be Samoa Joe. Joe was released, but within hours Triple H was calling him up, asking him to hold on, and then offering him a role on NXT. Within months he was NXT champion, but this was at the same time Vince McMahon was taking over NXT and Triple H was having health issues. Soon after he won the title though, it was announced that Joe had suffered an injury and as a result of his health issues relinquished his belt, and then soon after NXT 2.0 started. Joe would still be in WWE for a few weeks after, but later it was announced that Joe was released. This was a wrestler that Triple H had gone to the trouble to protect and bring back to the company when he was originally fired, and thus his fate was sealed when Triple H was no longer front and center. NXT's biggest fan base at one point were hardcore fans, and there was a good reason for that. In the early 2010s, independent promotions like Ring of Honor had become extremely popular. At the same time, wrestlers from ROH and other such places were wrestling at the top level in WWE. This was the time that indie stars were rising, and the likes of Kenny Omega, AHA Styles, Nakamura, Okada, and the Young Bucks were making headlines. The Bullet Club was immensely successful, but it left WWE looking for ways to make up for that. It was Triple H, the same man who had previously been against indie wrestlers and had such an issue with CM Punk when he came into the business, who recognized their value. As he began to reinvent NXT from a game show, he began to hire indie wrestlers who were over and use them in the best way. These wrestlers would go on to become the future of WWE, but unfortunately at the same time, many of them would never be seen as credible thanks to their size by the likes of Vince McMahon. Now WWE and NXT have gone the opposite direction, removing Triple H's legacy. Not only do they not hire indie wrestlers, they aggressively do the opposite and hire collegiate athletes. At the same time, instructions have come in to push wrestlers who were tall, no longer pushing smaller stars. While it feels like Vince McMahon and the WWE main roster just started to undo Triple H's legacy, it has been going on for some time. Asuka is one of the top stars on NXT, having an incredible undefeated streak. She would go on to win the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, though before she could win the title, Charlotte Flair defeated her at WrestleMania. Triple H put all his faith in Charlotte, but Vince believed that Asuka could not break the language barrier and Flair was the only person who could do the job. Thankfully, she has somewhat recovered from this booking since then, and while away right now, is in a much better state. There are some WWE stars who are known for being Triple H's favorites. That's the case with Finn Balor. While he's fit, he's rather short, and that's a big no-no in Vince's head. Triple H naturally focused on the immense talent of the star when he signed him to the company. Other than the one time he won the Universal title and relinquished it immediately after due to injury, it's been clear that McMahon does not think much of Finn. The reason is that given his booking by Vince McMahon, he has not been a draw on the main roster, as Vince Russo pointed out. I don't think he has, because he hasn't drawn Vince money. That's the bottom line. At the end of the day, you've got to have some stroke in order to speak up with Vince, and that stroke is you draw Vince money. I think Vince can look at Finn Balor and be like, with all due respect, this guy hasn't drawn me any money. That puts Finn in a tough position. Now, if you earn Vince money and you're a value to Vince, yeah, then you're going to have a little bit of a stroke. As a result, Balor's booking has been abysmal and is yet another way that Triple H's legacy has been erased. He might even be released from the company soon. What Vince McMahon wants in a wrestler is something that is not difficult to say. He liked bigger and taller stars who were very muscular, basically wrestlers that look like The Rock, John Cena, Hulk Hogan, and Roman Reigns. Unfortunately, that has not been the type of wrestlers that Triple H has brought to NXT. No matter how over they were, the Undisputed Era, for example, were unfortunately not full of wrestlers who fit that description. In the eyes of McMahon, NXT had failed. When NXT was started, it was supposed to be a developmental brand that built people from the ground up. Still, no matter how good these stories it told, or how great the matches were, most of the wrestlers were from the indies. They came in with skills already and were not developed by the brand. WWE TV required something more from them. Some skills that NXT was neglecting. In the entertainment category, NXT was an alternative to WWE and not really adhering to tradition. Thus, by wiping out this core identity that Triple H had built for the brand, Vince McMahon has once more destroyed the legacy that Triple H had focused on for years. Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard changed a lot on NXT. They changed the people in charge, the people running things behind the scenes, and they changed the entire concept. With the exception of Shawn Michaels, few who shared the views of Triple H about the brand have remained working there. The moment it was announced that NXT would now be produced by McMahon and Pritchard, fans felt it was the death of the brand. Everywhere they looked, they found Triple H and left an indelible mark on how things were done. The focus was on wrestling, the writers were given freedom, and there was a lack of camera cuts every second. Instead, it was a focused and clean production. There was only one way to get rid of this altogether, and it was by changing the brand. The black and gold brand no longer exists and has been replaced by a rainbow brand, where the women have to be under a certain age and the men have to be above a certain height. This is a broken down version of the main roster now, rather than the unique and innovative territory Triple H had built. And these were 9 ways WWE is erasing the legacy of Triple H. Hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.